Welcome back to Homestead Corner. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about our 2021 preparedness plan. I think it's really important for us to keep our eyes open about what is really going on around us. Some people are not affected to this point as to what is going on. And, changes are happening. We have a new administration running our country, and they have a whole different focus. And, I'm not going to get into whether I agree with it or I don't agree with it. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. The fact of the matter is when these decisions and regulations and things like that start changing, it affects everybody. We can think that, well, for one example is the Keystone Pipeline. We think, I don't work in that industry, so it's probably not going to affect me. Unfortunately, there is a ripple effect to these type of things, and it just gets out there, and it's going to affect everybody in the long run. For some people, it's job losses, unfortunately, and that really stinks. They've got to change their whole way of the way they make income. And sometimes it takes a while to be able to get back on your feet after something like that happens. I personally have lost my job before, and it took me many months to get into another job that worked for me, that I was able to get into. It wasn't any better paying. It was actually a little less money, but I needed to feed my family. And it took me quite a while to learn other skills to be able to get back on my feet where I was. So we need to look at how this affects everything around us. So not only are some people losing their jobs, this changes the way that fuel is moved around in our country, and the amount of fuel that we use from our country and having fuel brought into our country, all that makes a difference and changes and things like that. So this will affect many different levels. I mean, it changes the fuel prices. We've already seen fuel prices going up 60, 75 cents, close to $1 a gallon in some places. Food prices are going up. When the cost of fuel rises, the cost of food rises, and commodities, because everything is trucked, and that expense has to be pushed off onto somebody else. So we really need to prepare for losses for stuff like that when this happens. So how are we going to keep up with the changes? There are a lot of changes coming down the pike, and we need to be prepared for that. Another thing is there are a lot of people being censored on social media. If they, the social media people are not happy with what you're saying, people get shut down every single day. It could be me at any moment. I might say something that they don't want to hear. And it happens. People get shut down every single day. I could be gone tomorrow. And this is a source of income for me. I have more than one income, but I have to work at different things. And I think it's important to branch out. Right now, we are branching out on other incomes to keep up with, if I lose an income, if one of my incomes is shut down, how am I going to make that up? My kids still need to eat. I still need to be able to pay the taxes on my house. We all have these things that we have to think about. And I think it's important for us to spread our feelers out and really look at how we're going to do this if something happens. Even in the case of an increase in the minimum wage, most people look at that and they're like, wow, that would be great, going from 7 something an hour to $15 an hour. For some people, it will feel great at first. Wow, I got this big raise, that's wonderful. But a lot of small businesses are not going to be able to stay open in the capacity that they are. They may have to lay off employees so they can pay these other employees that they can't, they can only keep so many. So they can pay them the increased wage. They're going to have less people. Those people are going to be that are there are going to be responsible for more work. There's no really other way around it. Prices increase from this. And the people that get hurt the most are like grandma on Social Security. Unfortunately, she has a fixed income. And let's say grandma gets $1,000 a month, and that is her whole income. She's got to pay her rent, her car payment or insurance. She's got to buy food, all that stuff. When $15 an hour comes into play, when you double the amount of pay per hour, the minimum wage, a hamburger that is now $5 today is going to be $8 to $10. And with the food increase, the gas increase, all the other increases that happen from things like this, we need to remember the people that are on a fixed income are not going to get an increase. Grandma's one treat a month when she goes out shopping with her girlfriends and gets to go out to dinner, she could lose that. She's not going to be able to afford it anymore. A lot of times they already can't afford their medicine, things like that. And those are the people that I worry about the absolute most, are people on fixed incomes. Because when stuff like this happens, although it feels great, it's a great raise. We also have to look at what it does to everything around us. We have to raise the prices to pay those people more. Everything goes up, and it ripples and ripples and ripples, and it affects everyone in the long run. So this year, with all the changes coming about, I think it's important for us to all be prepared for losses. And whether let's say we don't lose our job, we may have a loss of extra money, or we may have to shrink our budget down. We're going to take some losses with all these changes and readjust the way that we live, the way that things we've always done. I think it's just one of those things that we have to look at and we need to prepare for. Because if we're not prepared, we're going to be stuck, and that's no good. If you're prepared, then it's all going to be okay. You'll get through it. It'll be hard, but you'll do it. And there are so many things that we can do to prepare, and a lot of them are really looking into what other skills do we have. If I am short and I don't have enough for food, then I've got to make up that money somewhere. So what skills can I pull out of my toolbox that I have? Could I start sewing to help somebody? Offer it to the public to help repair clothing or something like that. Could be a pretty valuable skill in really tough times. People aren't going to be able to afford clothes, and if you can sew, you could help them repair stuff. And although it's probably not the largest amount of money, if you could get a few people to hire you, it would definitely help fill in the gaps. Also looking at different things that we can do, like our skills. If we work in a certain skill set, let's say we're a mechanic, and you can take those skills of being a mechanic and transfer them over to, you may work on cars right now, but you may want to expand that to work on lawnmowers and small tractors and, but even bicycles. As the economy tightens up for some people and it's harder and harder for them, bicycles are going to be something, they're going to need them. They're going to need to have them repaired, because you spend a couple $100s on a bicycle, you're not just going to throw it out. As the economy tightens, more people will get things repaired than they did before, because we've lived in such a throwaway society. It's just, people just throw stuff out and get a new one because we can afford it, and so instead of that, as things tighten up for people, they're going to be looking for someone to repair stuff, repair their washing machine, repair their vehicle, repair their TV, things like that. We really have turned into this throwaway society where, we'll just get a new one. It broke, it's going to cost more to get it fixed than it is to buy a new one. As prices rise, the need for repairmen is definitely going to come up. So as I sit down and work on my 2021 preparedness plan, I am really looking at how I can change things, how I can expand to help prepare for any losses that I may occur. And, so I can keep my family afloat and we can all make it through this. And we may not live at the level of living that we're used to living at, but it's okay. As long as we have enough, we're going to get through it. I'm sure we will. And I think it's important for everybody to take a little time and just look at what are the things that you can expand on and how can you change the way you're looking at your prepper plans. And that's it for today. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.